Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the penultimate round of the RLH F1 Asia Cup for Category 1. Tonight you join us at Singapore in the Marina Bay circuit. This should be quite an interesting race because Sem, the championship leader, is 51 points clear of Larkin, scoring but a single point will wrap up the championship for him tonight. He can do it. Let's see whether he does. Anyway, we've got 12 drivers. Hopefully he'll get up to 13 rather, by the start of the race. We'll get our drivers' tyres up and ready before we head out on this qualifying session. Of course, you join us under the lights, one of the few races under the lights. We were under the lights last week as well at the Yas Marina circuit, so not too far, of course. You join us once again in Asia, unsurprisingly, because of the fact that this is the Asia Cup in preparation for the release of F1 2020. We've got some drivers now revving it up to go, and we will hop to them as soon as possible. It looks like it's going to be a Mercedes of Eloise Maurice leading us out, so we'll ride on board with him. And I'll just get these comments up, and I think I may have messed up the title. That's category 3, never mind. Strangely enough, I cannot see category 1. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Spectacle races in Feldos. Gift Chip's also driving here? Yes, of course. So we're going to ride on board with Maurice for now. He's on his outlap. You can see the barrier's quite close this evening. That's going to be something the drivers are going to have to watch out for throughout the course of the race. Obviously, very easy to just hit the barrier, get a bit of damage, and potentially even lose a wheel. It does look very nice in this game, though. You have to admit, you've got the big city here in Singapore in the background on this island. So yeah, the Marina Bay Street Circuit is also known as the Singapore Street Circuit. Is the street circuit around Marina Bay in Singapore, which encompasses parts of the downtown area as well as Kallang. The track is 5.063 kilometers long, or 3.146 miles long, and it's in a harbourside location that's similar to Monaco or even Yas Marina. That, of course, does have some boats nearby. Capacity here is 9,000. It's an FIA Grade 1 track, and it broke ground on the 31st of August 2007 before being opened exactly a year later on the 31st of August 2008. So here we go. You can see Maurice just prepping for the start of his race then, or his hot lap even. So just coming through the last couple of turns now. Anyway, here we go then. It's flat out towards the final 2 turns, missing the final turn there. Anyway, across the straight we go, moving all the way over to the left as we head into shears of turn 1, which is 90-degree left-hander, followed by turn 2, and then turn 3, another left-hander. Trying to brake all at the same time, then through turn 4 here, this left hand kink before heavy braking once again into turn 5, leading on to the first DRS straight of the track, but that's going to be an invalidated lap. And I believe we'll ride on board with Heinz Weichel then. Anyway, he goes through shears now, through turn 3, into turn 4. Just up here and towards turn 5. Will he invalidate as well? We'll see. He's going to be not so greedy with the track. The straight DRS activated through turn 6 into turn 7 of Memorial Corner. Heavy braking there. Then back on the throttle again towards Stamford. This right-hander now, I think that's the fastest first sector so far. Anyway, through the left-hand of Padang, onto the straight towards what used to be the Singapore Sling. Now, hello. Yeah, now just a left-hander. He's invalidated there. The route turns 11 and 12 though, towards turn 13. This hard left-hander, while you're turning right, trying to brake. Back along the straight towards turn 14 of Connaught. Right across the road from turn 8 of Stamford. Here we go then on those medium tyres. So tyres are definitely going to be an interesting factor. Only one driver currently on these softs. Anyway, heading through the left-hander of turns 15 into 16 and Esplanade of 17. I'm probably butchering these pronunciations. Then towards turn 18 of the Bay, under the grandstand we go. Through turn 19, then turns 20 and 21 before back on the power for 22 and 23, trying to maximise this run here. It'll be a tap on the brake for turn 22, past the pit lane entrance, then on the straight for turn 23. Obviously not the fastest outlap as it was invalidated. Supporting Maurice again. Hello, Mitch. Hopefully you can be along for the ride. And Lakitu there, pole position so far with a 135.0. We'll see if anyone else beats that. We've got Simply Superman here. He's just heading towards Connaught now. He's got the teammate Larkin ahead of him. He's also got the Red Bull of Niels Barser, who's on the hard tyres. So we'll go to Niels now as he heads through the next sector. Towards turn 18 he goes. Under the grandstand there. Very interesting place to put a grandstand. Definitely be expensive tickets though. Rain. Ooh, rain will be during the race. There's yellow flags in sector 2. And that's going to be Heitz Weichel out of the qualifying session already. He's gone straight on. Is that turn 13, I believe? Yes, it is. So that has... No, that's not even. That's turn 11. Not the greatest there. Niels Barser, 38.2 on those hard tyres. Slower than Larkin on a 37.5. Larkin is the only driver in contention for the championship as well as Sem. So he really needs to get their foot down this evening. He needs to win the race with the fastest lap. And Sem to score no points to have a shot at winning this evening. Unfortunately, Justices doesn't seem to be able to join tonight. It looks like he's having connection issues, which is something that still plagues this game, even at such a late stage in its release. We'll go to Dropier now. He's just leaving the pits, as is Spaghetti. No, Dropier's just heading into his pit box, actually. Spaghetti Chips likewise staying in his pits. As into the pits as well goes Lakitu, currently on pole position. He's fighting Larkin in the championship as well. Lakitu's on 69 points, Larkin on 70. And well ahead is this driver here on 121 points. So we've still got championship battles up and down the order to get finished. This isn't the only one, although the Asia Cup could be wrapped up tonight here by Sem if he can win this evening. 51 points clear of Larkin. He needs only score 1 point overall. Doesn't even have to be 1 point more than Larkin and he will win the championship. So it's looking to be in good stead for him as we've got Maurice coming towards the line now. We're not going to ride on board with him because we've got the rev limiter glitch. But yeah, rain during the race is going to be interesting. We're going to see the drivers probably head out a bit more on these soft tyres. As you can see, they're beginning to strap on now. They've done their banker laps. And those soft tyres are going to be coming into play soon. We've got Spaghetti Chips here. He's out on his installation lap. He's on his warm-up lap, sorry. And he'll be going off on a hot lap soon. We've got, I think that's probably Larkin. And also Marcus Short or Lakitu, both heading out of the pits at the same time. Yeah, we've got Lakitu and I believe Larkin. Yes, it is. But we'll stay with Spaghetti Chips for now because he's going to be the first driver. He's on the mediums, remember. Interesting choice, especially considering there's going to be rain during the race. You'd have thought softs would be the best idea. So yes, all Sem has to do is just score 1 point and the championship will be his. A round clear of the end of it. So he's just been absolutely blisteringly fast as Fag does invalidate on his outlap and back into the pits he goes. So we'll go to Lakitu now. He's let Larkin past at this point. So we'll actually go to Larkin instead. No. Lakitu's in front. Okay. Rather interesting. Remember, these two are battling for second place in the championship. This is quite a hefty place for them to be battling. Let's see who can take the lead heading into the final round next week. I believe it's Australia. Let me just double check that though, because Not entirely sure. Just give me 2 seconds. The calendar. Oh no, it's Suzuka, sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking it's Melbourne. No, it's Suzuka next week. I really don't know why I keep thinking it's Australia, but yes. So the original fastest race lap record was held by Lewis Hamilton in 1:45.0. With the original layout. The current circuit, sorry, race lap record is held by Kevin Magnussen in the Haas Ferrari 2018. That was a 1:41.9. Quite interesting, as Lakitu has invalidated that lap. So we'll head down to Larkin now, who isn't invalidated. But yeah, that's the current layout. The revised circuit with reprofiled turns 11 to 13. The record there was held by Lewis Hamilton at 1:45.0. That was in 2017. Fastest Sector 1 so far for the driver of Larkin for now. The revised circuit with the chicane removed, the Singapore Sling, was 1:48.5, and that was Seb Vettel in the Red Bull Renault in 2013. And the original circuit was a 1:45.5, held by Kimi Räikkönen in the Ferrari 2008. I can't remember how many laps we've got this evening, but it will be the longest race of the championship, and in fact the longest race of the normal F1 season as well. The 50% race length. It will be wet and it will take much longer than it would ordinarily. We've got Larkin though heading towards the line now, just coming out of turns 19 now into 20 and 21, trying to maximise this exit here all the way up against the barrier. Got to be careful not to hit it though. Through turns 22 and 23, onto the straight he goes, and it's going to be pole position there, a 1:34.8, the first driver to break through the 1:35. Here comes Lakitu though, he'll be looking to strike back. He's on those soft tyres as well, a 1:35.0 his current lap. Can he improve? That's just at 2/10 for him to gain. Sem claiming pole position there, a 1:34.0, 8/10 of a second faster than second. That shows why he's currently leading the championship, let's say. And I think Spaghetti Chips is heading towards the line now, and across he goes. And he's just going to be starting his lap, actually, I believe. Yeah, he will be. The other Toro Rosso of LR Patrick, though, he's heading towards the line. He's currently invalidated, however. And that's the Mercedes of Eloise Maurice. He's on a hot lap, and he's heading through the final couple of turns now. No, in fact, he's not. He's going into the pits. Maybe he's going to switch onto the soft tyres. I'm not quite sure. We've got Spaghetti Chips here, though. He's heading through the first couple of turns now, and it looks like Larkin, he's on an end lap. Lakitu, however, is on a hot lap, looking to reclaim that position he had. He's had the fastest sector 2 so far. Simply Superman will also be just ahead of him as they come towards the line now. In fact, we'll head to Simply Superman now. He's got Marcus Short behind him. This is the 1:36.6 current lap. As he heads towards the line now, it goes a 1:35.4. Marcus Short heading into the pit, so we'll head up to Lakitu. Lakitu trying to get that pole position potentially. Half a second. Oh, yeah, about half a second clear of Superman. 4/10, and he does overtake Larkin by about 5.5 of a second. So that's a big disparity between those two drivers. And I must say, though, raw pace isn't going to be what dictates the outcome of this race. It is going to be consistency with an endurance event such as this. And you can see the ERS management really coming into effect here, all the way down to 0 for the Red Bull of Niels Varsa. I do apologise for the delayed start this evening. We just had a couple technical issues. But back up to ERS Mode 5. Easy win for some again, says Justin. I have to wait and see. It's easy to crash. We've only got 4/10 left, and that's going to be fastest second sector for Niels Barter. Through the next couple of turns now, let's see what the Red Bull can do. Of course, he's running on low fuel, and there's a lot of ERS used through this sector here. Let's see what the Red Bull can do now. Currently in 9th on a 1:38.2. Lots of room for improvement. Let's just see how well the Red Bull can do. Heading through the final couple of turns now. Towards the line. It's quite an early line, and it's going to be a 1:35.686. Putting in between QVR Campbell and Simply Superman. Having a look around though, we've got other drivers on the track. It looks like Marcus Short. No, Lakitu, he'll be on an in-lap. This driver is on an in-lap as well. I think LR Patrick, however. Yeah, Maurice is on an in-lap. We've got Nils Vossett. He'll probably be coming in at the end of this lap. I don't think we've got any drivers on hot laps currently. We'll head up to Kvyat Campbell though. I think he's leading this next salvo of laps. You can see he's on full ERS. Or no ERS rather, full conserve. Hello, Black Mamba. Where the stop is, yeah, because that is one thing to add. Safety car, very high possibility. With the proximity of these barriers, it's so easy to crash that safety car will really shake up the strategy, especially in the wet conditions. Hopefully we won't see any big crashes though, because that of course won't be ideal. Yeah, safety car is highly likely, I believe. But yeah, the wet conditions could also be very interesting. It's going to make it even harder than it would be normally to navigate the streets of Singapore. Okay then, Justin, that's a bit of a... it's quite a judgy statement there. Pace is disappointing on the softs. Yeah, I know. That is true, actually. There's a huge disparity between those top two and the rest of the order. That's looking good for Lakitu and Sem, but obviously wet pace is going to be slightly different to dry pace. As across the line now goes Kvyat Campbell to start his next lap. Only the top three of good soft times, I suppose, although that could all change. This is going to be the final set of laps. We'll see whether everyone can get within a decent range of the leader. It'll be interesting to see whether we see a 1:33 by the end of this qualifying session. I think that's what we've really got to look out for. Whether Sen can pull one off. Lord Elephant there, go Spag. Yes, fair enough. Goldie. And there's yellow flags. That will be an unknown reason to me. Yeah, not long to go before the checkered flag is waved. Just 1 minute now, and we've got Spaghetti Chips quite close behind Kvyat Campbell. That's rather interesting. And we've got the other McLaren heading towards the line now, not leaving too much time to spare. That will be Dropye, one of the three drivers who've won races this championship so far. The other two being Sem and Larkin, and Campbell actually, I believe. Yellow flags in sector 2, and I think that might just be drivers letting each other through. I'll just give you 2 seconds to confirm that statistic. I have no idea how long the rain is gonna last, unfortunately, as there goes Kvyat Campbell pulling off to one side. We've got the two Alfa Romeos heading towards the line now. They're just starting laps. Marcus Short also in 5th place there with a 1:35.3. So off Sem. And a lot. Patrick has retired from the session. Maybe that's a crash, I'm not entirely sure. Yes, it's interesting. And yeah, you can see moving over to one side is Short, trying to let the drivers through, just not cause any huge incident, not trying to hinder their teammates either. Simply Superman, he'll be leading us through the next couple of laps. In fact, no, he won't. Sem will be. Sem's heading towards the line now on this hot lap. What can he do as he heads through turns 22 and 23? He's going to use all of that track, and he's going to improve to a 1:33.9. Absolutely blistering there. We'll head up to Dropye as well. Dropye yet to set a lap time. This is his only shot. The checkered flag is being waved. Through the final couple of turns he goes, and across the line it's going to be 8th place there with a 1:35.775. Very, very not far behind, not far in front of rather. Hello, Patrick. Anyway, we've got the racing point of Simply Superman heading through the final couple of turns now. He'll be followed swiftly by Spaghetti Chips. That's a 1:35.1. Let's see what Spag can do. He's yet to set a lap. Across the line, it's going to be only a 1:35.4. Not too far behind Marcus Short. That won't have been too exciting for him as Maurice does invalidate that lap time. Marcus Short, he's currently... Yeah, he's not on a hot lap. Who is on a hot lap, though, is Larkin, heading towards the final couple of turns now. Let's see what he can do. And no, he's gonna pull over as he heads across the line. 1:34.8 is going to be that final lap time for him. We've got Larkin and Sem. In fact, Lekitu, I'm sorry, I've just noticed Lekitu has taken pole position. Look at the pace of that driver. That is going to round off the qualifying order. But yeah, look at that. Lekitu and Sem, they could be in for quite a battle. There's only 21 thousandths of a second separating them. Sem needs to get banned. You say that, and then Lekitu is a two-time winner here. Spag work his way up to the podium. Let's see whether he can do that. I mean, he's in 7th place now. It could all change, though. This race is extremely unpredictable. But Lekitu there, taking pole by storm. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Let's see what he can do about it and maybe hold on to it until the end of the Grand Prix. Lekitu to get banned as well. You heard it here first. Let's see whether the admins have to step in. Maybe just a Lekitu and Sem League. Or just the Sem League all by himself. But yeah, look at that. Just 2.1 tenths of a second between them. 100ths even. But the qualifying order, it's going to be Lekitu 886 on pole with Sem 122004 lined up next to him. Then QVR Campbell and Larkin 4th S. Simply Superman 69 and Marcus Short will be alongside each other on the 4th row. Then the 3rd row. The 4th row will be Spaghetti Chips and Nils Barca the 5th. Drop Day 518 and LR Patrick with Eloise Maurice and Heitz Weichel lining up at the back of the grid. Heitz Weichel unfortunately unable to set a lap time during that session. Nearly 3 seconds separating the whole grid. So definitely a lot of differences in lap time. I mean, Justin, if he got himself an admin role, I'm sure he could probably pull that off. And there you can see intermediate conditions, it looks like to me. Nils Barca missing the line because you can't do normal pit stops in quality. Yeah, that is a bit of a strange thing. However, they've also got to refuel as well. So I think that's why it puts you back in the garage. But it can be frustratingly long, how long it takes the game to do that. But there you can see the garage of number 69, Eloise Maurice. The Dutchman just on the left hand of our screen. It looks like the Inters are out in the garage. They'll probably be being used in the race. Then the drivers just finalising their setups, getting enough fuel because it's going to be a long haul to the line, especially in these conditions. Hopefully we have a clean start to the race. Who will crash first? That is one question we're all going to be asking, but we'll get ready now. Telemetry now, we won't have that. Position change, we'll have that up for now. It looks like everyone will be on the Inters. I doubt anyone's starting on the wet, so we'll have a quick look at that. Yeah, everyone on the Inters. So the Inters clearly the tyre of choice. So I have the track map up for now. See whether there are any crashes, because of course that track map is really helpful. Yeah, these drivers just going out on that lap. Warming up their tyres, getting ready to race. Get those brakes ready as well. Maybe just trying to get used to these wet conditions, looking for the dry spots on the track. And trying to find the fastest section they can take it. To ride on board now with Lekitu. Heading through sector 2 now even. About halfway around the track. You can see it's raining quite heavily. It looks quite cool in the lights though, you have to admit. You can see the lights shining through the raindrops. The dry line won't be forming till a couple of laps into the race though. That's going to see the lap times creep up. But it's Larkin here who's the only hope of stopping Sem getting that win this evening. Yes, Bjorn will be starting on the... Justice is in as well, which is good. But Bjorn and Justice actually will be starting on the default setup due to joining in quali late. That is correct. I'm not sure how much that's going to affect them. It'll probably cost a little bit of time. But I mean, this was quite a heavy downforce circuit, and the base setup is quite stable. So I'd say stability is more important than speed in these conditions, to an extent, obviously. You don't want to be driving around something that's really slow but doesn't act like a boat. I think in this game actually, if you join mid-quali, you can't do an installation lap, and therefore it makes you start on default when you load into the race. I think it's a bit of a weird thing that the game does, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Which can be annoying, unless I'm wrong, which I very well may be. But yeah, if you join mid-quali, it means you can't take part in quali, which means you are park firmade onto the base setup, I believe. Which is a bit frustrating, but here we go then. All of the drivers already lined up on the grid, not too many to be honest. But let's get ready for the penultimate round of the RLH F1 Asia Cup. 31 laps here to go around this 5-kilometre circuit. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. All out and away we go, but it's a jump start for Justices. He's going to have a drive-through penalty. That is really, really bad news. Lakitu's going to lead into turn 1, but down the inside goes Sem to try and take the lead. We've got 3 wide behind. And Simply Superman's nearly been absorbed there. And Nils Barca dropping down positions like a stone through a well. And we've got, it looks like Hives Michael trying to make up a couple of positions. Look how close these drivers are. And look at this, down the inside goes Dropyate on Marcus Short. There's contact, yellow flags in Sector 1. And it looks like it's not been a great start for Maurice. As into the barrier, it looks like that was Dropyate. Has he got damage to the front right? No, he hasn't, but he definitely did have a bit of wheel spinners. Down the inside goes Nils Barca on Dropyate. Dropyate just swinging it around the outside. Can he hold on to it? They're going to be side by side. Heading towards the next couple of turns now. Back down the inside goes Dropyate. And he's going to be able to hold on to that position for now. The Red Bull does have a little sniff of the line, but he's not going to be able to get that position. You can see these wet conditions really neutralising the speed these guys can carry through the turns. You could argue it provides better racing, but I don't know, hopefully you've got to have cars to have racing. Hopefully we don't see too many crashes. LR Patrick following Nils Barca quite well through there as we head towards turn 13 now. One of the most difficult turns on the track, as round the outside goes Justices. Trying to get that position off Patrick. I think that was maybe a bit of a lately judged move. I think that wasn't wholehearted. I don't think he was really going for that. I think he just saw an opportunity to try and have a crack at it. Yeah, wet setups. 7th to 5th for Swag. Swag will be the first DNF. Well, it looks like Nils Barca's had an issue though, because he's dropping down the order and he's about to lose one more position there to Heitz Weichel. Good move there from the Toro Rosso. No damage though, so it's nothing too big. I mean, Bjorn and Justices both starting on the default setup, both up 3 positions. Nils has had an absolutely tragic start though. He's already down 5 places as Nikita is beginning to extend that lead to just over half a second. Can he keep it that way though? That is the real question. Look at this, Marcus Short having a look at Simply Superman. He's not going to be able to make that work. Slightly too far behind. Drop down Marcus Short though, however. That's going to be something to watch out for. That McLaren really posing a threat to the Alfa Romeo. Bold call for Swag to be the first DNF. Where is he currently? He's currently in 5th place. I don't think that's very likely. I mean, Lakitu though, he's got absolutely fantastic pace. He's almost a second clear of our championship leader. But remember, all Sem needs to do is score a point. That is it. He just needs to finish in those top 10 and he will have the championship, although I'm sure he'll want to go out in a blaze of glory on the podium, so we'll see how that works. I mean, he's already, those top 2 are already over 2 seconds clear of 3rd, whom we are currently watching now. You can see heading through past where the Singapore thing used to be, and back onto the straight now. Those top 2 just have buckets of pace, especially Lakitu. He's just pulling away from Sem. However, I say that gap has declined slightly. Remember, there's no DRS. The drivers will have to rely solely on ERS and slipstream to try and get these overtakes done. The run into Connaught's probably the best place on the track for an overtake. Maybe also between turns 5 and 6, 5 and 7, I think it is. Those are probably the best 2 places to overtake because the straights aren't all that long around this track. although there are a lot of braking zones to try and make up positions. Already on lap 2 of 31, almost on lap 3. 155 kilometres, I believe. Or slightly over for the duration of this Grand Prix. Lakitu again with a 154.2, setting the fastest lap once more. And I fear that will be going up ever more as the race goes on. I'm not sure if it's going to be wet all the way through or if it will dry out. We'll have to keep an eye out to see how much the intensity of the rain stays during the race, whether it goes down or up. But look at this, Marcus Short is close behind Simply Superman 69, heading through turn 5 now onto the next straight. This is where the DRS usually would be. Can he try and get that position off of Simply Superman, moving round to the outside into the braking zone? He might go for a switchback here. No, he's going to fling it right round the outside. They are wheel to wheel. Marcus squeezing Simply Superman slightly against the barrier. Look at this angle as they run side by side once again through sector 2. There's contact. That was a bit risky there from Marcus Short. I think he squeezed Superman slightly too much, but Dropier and LR Patrick are side by side. Patrick will have the outside though. He might go for the switchback here if he can get the power down. No, he's carried a little bit too much speed. And Dropier is going to get that position, but Superman will be a little bit annoyed at that from Marcus. I think slightly squeezing in too much, as that was a big slide there for LR Patrick through that section there. So they run down towards Connaught now. They've already got half the drivers past it. So already a relatively big spread through the field as Dropier nearly pile drives into the back of Superman. That could have been bad as they head into Sector 3 now. I mean, they're already in Sector 3. Simply Superman has run slightly deep. That's going to compromise his exit out of turn 17 towards turn 18 as we head under the grandstand now. Those drivers, those audience members will be soaked. We've got capacity for 90,000 audience members around this track. Unfortunately, this is the virtual world. And currently we have, I think, 9. But that's only 10,000 times less. Nothing too big. But here we go. Dropier's had a fantastic run out of turn 23 into turn 1. There's contact there. Under braking, he's going to squeeze Superman wide. Superman has cut the turn. And LR Patrick's going to have a fantastic view of this. Simply Superman back around the outside. That was rather interesting between the two of them. Superman will have the inside though into the next turn. Dropier going for the switchback of centuries and he's pulled it off. Simply Superman with a massive tank slapper on the exit is going to have a really, really poor exit. And now he's going to be looking up because look at this. LR Patrick having a look down the inside. Can he get the position off of the racing point? No, he can't, but LR Bjorn is also presenting himself behind the Toro Rosso. And under braking, he does have a look, but he's not close enough. Larkin on Kvyat Campbell as well. That's a battle that we may have to switch up to as well. Jump start, that'll be Justice's. He'll have to do that drive through now. Unless he's already done it, I'm not sure. I can't remember who else has. I think maybe multiple people got drive-throughs, but that's a 3-second penalty for LR Patrick here. That's going to be bad news as he's had a big, big tank slap, but that's not the first time. He seems to be struggling for grip through that section, but look at this, Bjorn in a Toro Rosso sandwich. And Niels Vasa not too far behind Heinz Weichel as well, just rearing the bottom slice of the sandwich here. Bjorn the tomato, all we need is some lettuce in there. However, there are no green cars. And some bacon, I suppose. That could be the other red car. I don't really know where I'm going with this analogy. But Niels Vasa still posing quite the threat to this Toro Rosso. LR Bjorn though still trying to keep up with LR Patrick as Sem sets the fastest lap. That's a 1:54.1. Superman with a time penalty there. And we're going to be seeing a lot of those this evening, so I'm not even going to try and keep up with them. We're about a fifth of the way through the Grand Prix, or we're approaching a fifth of the way through the Grand Prix. Sem setting the fastest lap though. Maybe he's beginning to find his pace in the wet and start to close that gap to Lakitu. It's over a second now. It could decrease, although that gap over a second, under a second, not too important now that there is no DRS due to the track conditions. But yeah, I have to say, the wet conditions add about 20 seconds a lap to the overall lap time. That's a huge difference. Niels Vasa, look at this, he's really close behind Heinz Weichel. Heinz Weichel on the other hand, not too close behind LR Bjorn as we head through to the second sector now. I have to say, I think the naming of these turns is interesting because they don't seem to have any connection to each other. If you know what I mean. I mean, we've got one turn which is, you just hold on 2 seconds. I mean, we've got one turn which is, I don't know, called Padang. Then we've got Connaught just coming up now. So, yeah, there doesn't seem to be any consistency between the laps. So maybe I'm just being an idiot because that's very possible. But look at this, LR Bjorn having a look at... Oh, and that's contact with Patrick. Can he get the switchback done as Patrick has a huge tank slapper on the exit? Really struggling with that rear end grippers down the inside. Bjorn does have a look. He's still side by side round the outside as we head towards turn 18 now. He's had a fantastic exit into turn 18. There's a little bit of contact. I don't think he received any front wing damage. Into turn 19, he's still side by side with the Toro Rosso. He's had to back off there. And look at this, Niels Barca having a look at the other Toro Rosso of Heitzweikel, who had a crash in qualifying and didn't set a lap time. But look at these 4 drivers really putting up a show, aren't they? Larkin close to Campbell, yeah, I know. He's not close enough. I think he needs to be within half a second. At that point, we may switch back up to him. But these drivers here really putting on a show, you have to admit. Niels Barca, though, he's still close behind Weichel. So we'll see how that all pans out. Definitely a fifth of the way through. And look at this, Niels Barca. He's having a look down the inside. Can he get the switchback done here on Heitzweikel? Heitzweikel does run wide. That's going to be at least a warning from the stewards. He could be getting a time penalty, which would be very, very bad news for him. Time penalties could play a deciding role in the outcome of this race. If it stays as close as it is now in some of these battles, you can see the spray flying off the tyres. As very late on the brakes goes Niels Barca, trying to get that later apex. Can he really get it on the power on the exit of the turn? As we follow him through this sweeping circuits of Singapore from the helicopter camera angle. It doesn't look like he's going to be successful as yet. We'll head up to Larkin and Campbell though. That gap very, very low indeed. We might see an attempted move into turn 1. Remember, this is 3rd and 4th. I mean, Sim and Nikita are already 8 seconds clear of Campbell, but this is still the battle for the podium. Nikita, though, he could take the lead between himself and Larkin. Sem once again with the fastest lap at 1:53.9. So him and Nikita look to be very similarly matched on pace, as that gap between Larkin and Campbell has gone up once again, but it has become one of the closest gaps on the track. I mean, Niels Barca and Heitzweikel are putting on a great show, though. They're not too far away from each other, and Short and Spaghetti Chips still got that battle to be concerned about just behind these 2 drivers. And we'll see how that all turns out come the end of the Grand Prix. Just having a look at the gaps, but that gap between Weichel and Bjorn has increased really rapidly. Has Patrick and everyone else picked up a load of time? Or has Bjorn been slowing down and holding up the driver behind him? Because that gap's all the way up to a second now. This is quite interesting as there's yellow flags in Sector 2. Niels Barca past Heitzweikel. I think Weichel went into the barrier there. You can see him going very, very slowly. That looks like front left damage. Yeah, definitely. That is not good news for the Toro Rosso driver. You can see he's got Justices behind him now. There's yellow flags in Sector 3. That's the Mercedes of Maurice having a abhorrent race, to be honest. It has not been going his way. He's almost a minute behind Justices, who's in 13th place, so really not good news. As Kvyat Campbell does have the alien indicator. But look at this, Heitzweikel, he's got that damage. In fact, that might even be on my end, the connection sign. And I think Weichel, no, he's not going to concede that position, but now you can see just how damaged that front left end, or that whole front left wing is. Justices is ahead of Heitzweikel. No, he's not. Heitzweikel reclaiming that position, sorry. But Justice should be able to get through this sector now. Very technical front end downforce, very important. And I would have thought that Weichel will probably pull into the pits now and get that front wing changed as soon as possible. I mean, it won't be too far off when he'll have to pit for a new set of inters anyway, so you may as well capitalise on the opportunity. As, yep, into the pits he goes. That's fair enough from him. He's got a lot of damage. And in the wets, front wing downforce is more important than it would be under normal circumstances. As Larkin goes behind QVR Campbell now still. So remember, this is the battle for the podium. I'm sure Larkin would be very happy to get his hands on that third step. And you can see just how close he is behind that McLaren. So he's really going to be gunning for that position. As he's run wide, and Larkin around the outside he goes on QVR Campbell. Yes, he does, and now Campbell's had a poor exit. Spaghetti Chips could have a look here. Through turn 13, though, not quite close enough to make a move, but that has definitely cost both of them a position. Both of them a lot of time there now. They were at over a second clear, they're now just under half a second clear. And now this has become, at the drop of a hat, a four-way battle for the podium. So that could be really rather interesting. Yeah, Spaghetti Chips and Marcus Short, they're having a little tussle of their own as Campbell and Larkin get tangled up as well, and that's caused these two drivers behind them to catch up monumentally. And now it's going to be a real threat. However, Larkin is over 11 seconds behind Sem, and Sem over 2 seconds behind Lakitu. So Lakitu showing some fantastic wet pace this evening. Lakitu's looking to get his first win of the championship under his belt. The only drivers to get championships, first wins this season, are Sem, who has had 3 wins, Campbell on 2, on 1 win, and Drop 8 on 2. So yeah, that could be the first win for Lakitu, and that will put him in a really, really good stead heading into the final round for his battle against Larkin. Currently in 3rd, that could all change as well. So we'll just see how this all pans out towards the end of the race. I mean, we're not even a third of the way through yet. Fortunately, we've had no DNFs and therefore no safety cars, because a safety car really would be quite interesting. It will really squeeze up these drivers. Now they found their footing in the wet conditions, it will squeeze them all together and allow them to really have a go throughout the duration of the rest of the race. So maybe we'll see a safety car, maybe we won't. I mean, they'll probably be a little bit more evenly matched, the drivers, now that they know how to navigate this wet circuit. It'd be interesting not to see a safety car at Singapore. That's almost a given when we come to racing. But it's not looking all too likely at the moment. We've only had one major incident, it looks like, and that was, 2 actually. Maurice was to be struggling, and Varkle did have that big old hit with the barrier, which cost him a lot of front wing carbon fibre. Now look at this though. Campbell and Larkin are beginning to pull away once again from Spaghetti Chips and Marcus Short. That gap now back up to over a second. So these two drivers in front clearly have a little bit more pace than those drivers behind. I say that gap's it's saying roughly around 1 second, varying either side. But I have to say, Marcus Short is very close behind Spaghetti Chips. Now, I mean, you can see Drop in the background as well. It looks like he might be catching up. This battle between the drivers is probably slowing them down somewhat and giving that McLaren the opportunity he needs to try and catch up to these other drivers. Yeah, these drivers still close, and look at that, Drop Day is really closing up on Short and Spag. So we'll see what he can do. I mean, he could try and work his way through all of them. That'd be interesting. Of course, he's got his other teammate near the front of this pack. And there's a bit of a gap behind him to Superman, who is in a battle of his own, actually. There's a little train there. We're running all the way down to Justice's It was involving Michael before, but not anymore. In fact, we'll head down to it now because LR Patrick is really close behind Simply Superman. Heading through the next couple of turns now into turn 13. Can he pull off a move? He's going to go for a later apex. Can he get that power down quick enough? No, it looks like Simply Superman actually pulling away on the straights. I'm not sure what assists they're using. Maybe the medium traction control a little bit more powerful due to these conditions. And you can see them really using those track limits. It's weird on the exit there. You have to move over quite a bit because the track line doesn't really follow the barrier outline. So I just think that's kind of interesting. Here they are, heading through the street circle. We'll head up to Short and Spag because that gap is quite low. Between turns 5 and 7, we could see a move, or 6 and 8. One of the two. Let's see whether one of them has a pop at the other on that long straight with the right-hand kink. It's all about the exit here. I mean, Drop is caught up as well. That gap now half of what it was about 2 laps ago. So that is really quite interesting. And we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. But I think we might... Yeah, we'll head down to Superman and Patrick again. I'll just get the comments up on my phone. Are they able to use medium traction control in C1? I think they can. Oh, but look at this. Superman really defensive from Patrick. Patrick going for the switchback move. Now, is it just me, or does the rain look to have relented a little bit? I mean, look at this 5-way battle. Look how close they all are. Sorry, I'm getting really sidetracked here. But yeah, the rain looks to have eased off, in my opinion. Maybe a couple more laps, but the drivers might be trying to just extend these inters to the point where they can switch onto some slick tyres. It's going to be close, though. But yeah, the rain does look to have slowed down, in my opinion. I might be wrong though, but look at the exit Superman's had there. He's absolutely pulled away. It's down the inside. Goes LR Bjorn on Patrick. What a move there. Just absolutely licked the stamp and sent it into turn 14 then. That's going to be 9th position for Bjorn. Remember, these guys are battling for position into the points as Justice very close behind Niels Barser. Very, very interesting indeed. As we've got a cool angle there, but you saw LR Patrick cut that corner. Blatantly obvious. Has Spag got any penalties? I'm not sure, but I don't think I'm in a position to look at the moment. I haven't seen any. As there's yellow flags, that's going to be Maurice again. He's really not having a good time of it this evening, you have to admit. But once this has all calmed down a bit, if it calms down, I'll have a look to see if Spag has penalties. That's a virtual safety car there. I'll take this opportunity to have a look at Spaghetti Chips. Does he have any penalties? No, he doesn't. He only has 1 warning. QVR Campbell has 2 warnings. Larkin on 2. Marcus Short, he has nothing. So those guys don't have any penalties quite yet. And look at that. Look, he's doing 7, just pulling away from them. That gap is already 20 seconds. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. As Maurice with a 10-second time penalty. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires at this point. It's really not going his way tonight, which is a real shame for him, because I'm sure he will have been looking forward to this race. But we're getting going again. You can see the green flags flashing through the next couple of turns. Bjorn is very close behind Sydney Superman, having a look, and he might go for the switchback here, nearly into the back of that driver, trying not to damage his front wing as there's contact between Justice and Niels Barser in the background. Don't know if there's any damage. I think that was just like wall-to-wall tap, because you could see the Red Bull have a real tank sapper. Back down the inside goes Justices into the next turn. He's run wide though. Can Nils get it back on the exit? He might go for another switchback here. Can he get that speed along the straight, or has Justice got a big tank sapper for the Haas? But a good move, and that's going to be 11th place for the Haas driver. Fantastic driving between these two guys. We're up to Bjorn and Sydney Superman. Into Connaught they go. Not able to make a move. There's yellow flags in Sector 3. Sector 1 now. I'm not entirely sure what the cause of that is. It's probably Maurice letting the Foster guys through. Yeah, that's true actually. Justice did have that drive-through penalty for jumping the start, and he has caught up. And he's also on the default setup, I believe, because he joined during the qualifying session. He wasn't able to actually put on a setup for tonight. That clearly hasn't hampered him too much because he's battling for the points already. We're only on lap 13 of 31. We're not even halfway through the Grand Prix yet. But look at this. Bjorn around the outside of Simply Superman. Superman does move to the outside once again, just to block that line. He was very entitled to do so. He still had a bit of a gap behind him. Although I just said the gap went up to 20 seconds. Now Larkin's within 13 seconds. So was there an issue? Was there an issue between Sem and Lakitu? Because that is 7 seconds. That is really, really interesting. Let me have a look, see if either of them have damage. It doesn't look like it for Lakitu. You can't really see when you ride on board anymore because of the stupid halo. I say stupid, it's not stupid. It's good. But you can't see the front wing, which is annoying. We got Bjorn though on Simply Superman. Trying to go for the later apexes. Look at that lunge there from LR Patrick. Justice having a bit of contact. Has that has got any damage? There's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. I don't quite know what that is. As round the outside goes Justice, which is going to become the inside line through what used to be the sling, I believe. He's had to back off there though. He might have to look in his mirrors because Niels Bosse is going to be presenting himself to that number 12. Hassas, there's a big oversteer there for Patrick. He's going to have a shocking exit. Look at this. Justice really capitalising on that mistake from the Toro Rosso. What a move. And they're both in the barrier though. That was not what a move. I spoke too soon. And that is damage for both of them. Patrick is going to be furious, but I'm not quite sure what happened there. I mean, Justice was on the outside and he just darted to the inside. So that was really, really interesting. As look at this, Marcus Short on spaghetti chips. Maurice retiring from the session. To be fair, that's understandable. He's done it in the pit lane, so not hampering any other driver's race. But here we go then. Marcus Short really posing a threat to spaghetti chips at this point. Drop day. He's been roughly staying about 7 tenths behind these two guys throughout the course of the Grand Prix. But yeah, that is interesting. LR Patrick out of the race as well, actually. Hasn't brought out a virtual safety car or anything. It has only got the yellow flags. I think he's retired, but not in the pit lane. So I'm not sure if the stewards will be happy about that. I don't think he's retired in the pit lane anyway. That's what it looks like from my perspective. Which is probably not orthodox, but he's not going to be happy about that. I mean, Justice really did go for one there. So that was quite interesting from him. Let's see what you guys are saying. Ricardo Kvyat. Baku, why would you retire? Yeah, I know. There's a higher chance of a safety car than usual around the track. But that's going to be the Mercedes and the Toro Rosso out of this race. There's still one Toro Rosso left, but no other Mercedes. Maurice was the lone Mercedes, so we're not even halfway through the race. Still got a long way to go. Justice, he's had a drive-through. He's got damage. He's not had a good race, but he could still fight for the points, especially if there's a safety car. So the race isn't over yet for him, and I dare say it won't be over for another until the fat lady sings or waves the checkered flag. But the Short still posing a real threat to Spaghetti Chips. He's still quite close behind that Renault. Oh, big oversteer though. That must have been a heart-in-mouth moment for the Alfa Romeo driver. You could see on the exit of the final turn there. Just about keeping it on the black. Yeah, Maurice, I thought 2 people got a drive-through penalty. Maurice obviously, I think, got one as well because he had a glitch with the starting lights on his screen, which is really unfortunate for him. But that is going to bring a premature end to his session, to his race, and it just went downhill from there, unfortunately for him. But this is the battle we're all on the edge of our seats now for. Well, you guys probably are. I'm standing up. And I can't fall off my sofa anymore. Of course, this is the track where I fell off my sofa in excitement. I don't think there's anything else I can fall out of. Maybe the window? Although that's closed, obviously. Don't want to be disturbing the whole neighbourhood. Or disturbing, entertaining, I'd say. It'd be like a radio broadcast. I don't really know what I'm doing. Bjorn on Simply Superman, though. It looks like he might get that position. Into Connaught we go. I said earlier, Connaught is just a... Oh, no, that is not Connaught. never mind. But yeah, that was a good move there from Bjorn to take 8th place of Simply Superman. He was battling for that for a while. Now Nils Barter is a bit of a threat to that racing point. But look at the gap between Bjorn and Dropye. That is over 20 seconds. So you can see where the difference... It's kind of like multi-class racing. You've got the different splits between the drivers. You've got 1st and 2nd, then 3rd to 7th, and then 8th to 11th, I'd say. But Justice, it looks like he's carried on despite his damage, yeah. So he's clearly not been affected too much by the rain. Speaking of which, it doesn't seem to be raining anymore, so this could be interesting. Once the track is dry enough, the drivers might start returning to the pits and strapping on a pair of slicks. It'll be interesting to see at what point they decide to do that, because it's definitely not raining anymore. You can see the track is mostly dry at this point. We'll see when they pull the trigger on those pit stops halfway through the race. As good a time as any for that dry face of beginning. And maybe that's why Justice is Justice is. I don't know. But that's probably why he's just waiting to go into the pits. Maybe he's just trying to suck up the damage for a couple more laps so he can get in and only do one pit stop, change to the front wing, putting on some slicks, rather than doing a pit stop to change the front wing and then having to do another one just a couple laps later to sort out those slicks. Does that look like a bit of a slide there from Spaghetti Chips through there? That won't have been too good for his speed as we head through the next couple of turns now. Back onto the straight. Bit of a slide there from Marcus Short. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on the power. Now these Inters will be approaching the end of their life around about now. But they've just got to stretch them until the rain stops completely. Well, until the track starts drying out. I mean, from our perspective, it looks pretty dry as it is at the moment. So it can't be too long unless of course it's still raining for the drivers. I don't think it is, but they're just leaving it. You've got to wait, really. The point to pit onto dries is about the time where it says DRS has been activated. Now you can see some drivers pulling the trigger on the pit stop. Not all of them though. That looks like Larkin. He's going to go onto a different set of tyres. He's going to be the first driver to do so. Let's see what compound he goes on. I reckon the mediums will probably be the tyre of choice. They'll be able to go to the end. Yep, that's the tyre he's going to choose. Dropye with a 3-second time penalty. Very quick pit stop there from the Racing Point pit crew. Yeah, it just wasn't really working for Maurice. And you can understand why he decided not to finish. In my opinion, anyway. Because it's a long race as well, especially in the wets. That extends the length of the race as well. I mean, we're just over halfway through. It's already 10 past 8 PM at BST. But yeah. Now, one thing we were thinking is that for this 20 that some drivers in the league are going to be taking part in, thinking of streaming it to the RLH channel. Oh, that's a spin there for Dropye, so that's going to take me out of my thoughts. But I can't just... as soon as there's no action, there's got to be action. But yeah, that's not good news for Dropye. He's lost 5 seconds there just from that little spin, so he's not going to be too happy about that. Oh yeah, Larkin's back out in traffic. It's hard to overtake around here. There's yellow flags in sector 3. But yeah, you're right about Larkin coming out in traffic. That's going to hurt him. Into the pits though, it looks... Oh, is that a Alfa Romeo having issues, or is the key to win the pit lane? I think it's the latter. But yeah, you can see the drivers now beginning to pull the trigger on these stops. Now it's going to be, 5-second penalty for Lakitu for speeding in the pit lane. They're going to serve that immediately. He's having a front wing change. He's had damage. This could cost him the race. He hasn't won yet this season. Will he win today? I'm not too sure. Yeah, Larkin may have pitted too early. Let's see where Sem comes out in relation to this once he finally makes his pit stop. So this could cost the Alfa Romeo his first win of the season. which would be a real shame. He's going to come out behind Dropye. He's almost a pit stop behind these guys now. That has cost him a lot of time. So I think that Lakitu had an issue. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Nils Vasa going into the pit lane. But I think Lakitu may have had a crash just before his entry into the pit lane. Because look at that. He's about... Hold on a second. He's 43 seconds behind Sam and he's just run wide. Oh, that is really, really bad news for Lakitu. I mean, I don't even know if he'll get a podium at this point. And he's come out ahead of Larkin though. But that is really, really unfortunate for Lakitu as he's run wide again. He looks to be really struggling. Maybe it was slightly too early to go onto those slick tyres. Maybe he's still aquaplaning a bit. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see whether he starts gaining time or not. If anything, it looks like he's losing time. Besides Viking and Simply Superman having a bit of a tussle there on what would be the DRS straight, had we any DRS. If we had any DRS. Larkin created the chain reaction. Here we go then. Everyone is going to be making their way into the pit lane. Sem goes into the pit lane. Let's see where Lakitu comes out and all this. This is not good. Look out. Sem is already on his way out of the pit lane, I believe. No, he's just entered his pit box. No, he's already out. And Lakitu, he's not even at the final turn yet. Let's see where he comes out in relation to the other drivers. Is he going to come out in a podium position or not? It looks like Sem and and Campbell have overtaken him. Lakitu just coming to the final, just into the first couple of turns now. He's dropped back. He's in a net 4th position. Yeah, a net 4th position. It has not gone well for Lakitu. Swag in 3rd. Let's see whether he stays there. Lakitu, we've seen he's got good pace around this track in the wets. Will that translate into the dries? He's got a lot of time to gain though. He's about 20 seconds behind Sem. So I think he must have had a crash on that in-lap, which is why he decided to pit. And I think you're right about Larkin causing a chain reaction. Now, this is probably the most dangerous part of the race. That transition from wet to dry. Everyone's on a still damp track on those dry tyres. It's the place where you've got the least grip. And with the barriers so close, it's highly likely that we'll see a crash. Well, it's a higher likelihood than normal circumstances, wet or dry. So we'll see how that all pans out. And also the drivers are trying to test the limit now, see how dry the track is before they really start to push. I mean, Lakitu's already making up around the second on Swag. He's only been out for a lap, remember. This is only lap 19 or 31 as well. So we've still got a long way to go before that checker flag is waved. Lakitu's got a lot of pace. Marcus Short going into the pit lane. Dropye deciding to stay out. Those inters must be very, very worn at this point. I mean, Short's going into the pits as well. So Spaghetti Chips with a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. In fact, let's see where Short comes out in relation to the other drivers. Sem is coming along the straight now. QVR Campbell here. Short could have made up a few positions. Let's see. QVR Campbell's just heading into turn 1 now. Short has got himself... He's found himself in 2nd position after that. And I think now was definitely the time to make those pit stops because I think Dropye is losing time. But remember, those tyres are also pretty worn as well. Or roughly the same even. Just keep an eye out on that gap for the moment. I think Dropye is actually pulling away slightly still. So I do think Larkin and Lakitu... Well, Larkin definitely made a pit stop slightly too early. Lakitu didn't really have a choice because he had that really heavy damage. In fact, no, Sem is catching up on Dropye. Maybe it's varying throughout sections of the track, but I do think that Dropye is now on the slower compound. 69 comment, it says the high cycle also going into the pit lane. Staying about 18 seconds. It looks like they're roughly even now. Now we need... DRS has been enabled, so now is the real chance to see... the DRS is enabled, so essentially it's dry enough. So we'll get up our little telemetry in the bottom right. and see what Lakitu can do. Can he try and get back into those podium positions? Yeah, Sem is closing up rapidly on Dropye. So Dropye definitely does have to pit now at this point. Yeah, you can see that gap. Oh, it's already gone down a second. So I think that was probably the right point for those drivers to make their pit. Maybe a lap early, I'd say. I think Short actually managed to mastermind that. He left it one lap longer, and he's managed to get himself up into second place, the teammate of Lakitu. So obviously not great news for the other Alfa Romeo, but it is good news for Short. So yeah, you can see now that Dropye, yeah, you definitely have to pit at this point as Sem says a fast lap. No, Campbell does. In fact, Lakitu does instead. That's going to come down once again. So Lakitu still showing a lot of pace around this track, even on the dry tyres. He is quicker than those cars in front of him. Just how much, though, we'll have to wait and see. Dropye coming out just behind him. Lakitu, well, it looks like he's varying in about his speed around the track. He could still try and fight his way all the way up into that top spot. He's got 10 laps to go. But yeah, you have to admit, Short did get that strategy perfect, because he's found himself up into third. He was in in second. I think he was in fourth before the pit stops. In fact, he's three and a half seconds clear of the driver behind him. There's a couple of time penalties being thrown around left, right and centre. Those time penalties could be quite important come the end of the race. We'll see how that all pans out, but it definitely didn't go well for Lakitu. He had an issue, and then he had the time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that's a really harsh penalty as well. It's 5 seconds. It's 5 seconds before the mechanics can even start to work on your car. But yeah, look at that. Lakitu is still closing up quite quickly. It looks like Dropye's got a fair amount of It looks like Dropye has a fair amount of pace as well, because he's keeping up with Lakitu quite nicely there. So we'll see what he can do. Sem sets the fastest lap again with a 1:46.5. So maybe the track's still a little bit damp, because we haven't quite got the fastest lap times available, I don't think, anyway. Although, of course, they're not on their qualifying trims. So we'll see how that plays out. I think, well, maybe Lakitu had a better wet setup. Maybe the other guys have been running slightly more dry-oriented setups. Pretty much evens itself out, because it was about halfway through the race that the changeover occurred. So we'll see how setups affect things now. But Lakitu still does have a lot of pace. He's catching up quite quickly to Spaghetti Chips. That DRS definitely helping now as we head towards the next turn. With the DRS now available, that's going to see a fair amount of overtaking, hopefully for now, into those heavy braking zones, as Justice getting the fastest lap, a 1:44.7 there in the Rich Energy Haas Formula 1 car. Surprisingly enough, it is a Formula 1 car, considering this is F1 2019, although there are F2 cars. Imagine if you could race F1 and F2 in the same race. That would be extremely pointless, but it'd be quite funny. Yeah, Dropye though, he's still posing a threat to Lakitu. So those drivers still looking to make up time. Sem, he's increasing that lead gap. Kvyat, Campbell and Spaghetti Chips, roughly even pace. In fact, it looks like Spaghetti Chips might be catching up to Campbell, or maybe Campbell's dropping back from Short. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see what the other drivers can do, because they're seeming to keep up with Spag. So it looks like Campbell might be slowing down rather than Spag speeding up. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting battle about to unfold here. Once again, fastest up as there's yellow flags in Sector 2. I don't know what the cause of that is, but Lakitu there dropped the even with the fastest lap. Penalties for the top 5. I'm going to have to be quick. Let's have a quick look. Sem has 2 warnings, so he could be getting a penalty. Short also on 2 warnings. Campbell on a penalty and 2 warnings. Spag on, it looks like a penalty. So those, and 2 penalties there for Lakitu. I think he served both of those when he entered the pits. Not entirely sure. There's safety car though. LR Bjorn is out of the Grand Prix. That is very interesting indeed. And that is turn 18 where Bjorn has had his crash. Quite easy to do. That's a very tight section as you head under the grandstand. And here is number 30 of Heisweichel just heading along the straight, but heading towards the main straight, or the pit straight rather. And Niels Bossa and Heisweichel both going into the pits. This is really interesting though. A safety car. It's going to be a sprint race to the finish. We've had to endure the wet conditions. Just survive. This is where we're going to see the racing. I doubt we'll see any pit stops from the top guys. It wouldn't make too much sense. They've only just made pit stops. All they're going to do is cost themselves position. But Lakitu could try and redeem himself now, because he's got a lot of pace. But so does Dropye and Sem. In. Says Prince. And there goes Sem into the pits. So no, they are going to go into the pits. Onto the soft tyres, I presume. Let's have a quick look. I expect they'll go into the soft tyres. Yep. All of them going into the pits. In fact, someone looks to have stayed out. Is that Short? Short has decided to stay out, giving him the lead of the race. 8 laps, but through under safety car. No, it shouldn't. I don't think the soft. I think the soft should be fine. Actually, the Marcus deciding to stay out on those mediums. So he's opted for harder rubber, less grippy rubber for overall track position. Now it's a bit easier to defend on a street circuit, and once the safety car goes in, there won't be any DRS for those first 2 laps. So I think Short, Short could do his best to defend that position on the mediums. As I think Justice has jumped Simply Superman. No, Superman in the pits going on to a pair of mediums. Interesting. So these drivers, those bottom, all opting to go into the mediums. We've got Sem here. He'll be looking to catch up. They're all on ERS mode 0. Yeah, that is the question. Will those softs run out of grip at the end of the race? However, will they be able to get past Short before they do so? And then in turn defend, because Short could go hell for leather here. He's got nothing to worry about. He can just absolutely hammer it to the end of the race. Five racing conditions. But also, the thing is, Short's got that first position now on those medium tyres. There will only be, if it's 5 racing laps, there will only be 3 with DRS to try and overtake Short. So if he can just try and push for those first couple of laps, he could be in a good stead for the end of the race. So the softs overheat pretty fast. This is going to be very interesting. That's all we can really say at this point. Short taking a gamble. It could work, it could not. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Lakitu looking to redeem himself for what's happened. Just keep an eye out in that bottom left for the message. Safety car in this absolutely Superman with a 3-second time penalty under the safety car. Interesting. But yeah, this is going to be one to watch. All of those drivers in Category 2, tell them now their race is over to come and have a look at these last couple of laps before it's too late, because this is going to be very, very interesting. So we'll get Short in the first lap. Potentially, it's all about how Short handles the restart. If he has a poor start, all of those softs are just going to fly right past him. If he has a good start though, gets that gap up to a second, he'll be safe from the initial danger, and he can try and prevent those drivers behind him getting back. But the moment he loses positions, he's going to struggle to get them back again, which is the problem of being on that harder compound of rubber. He just needs to hold out for those first couple of laps until those softs begin to wear out. And then he will be in a position to try and hold off. But Sem, we've seen, has a lot of pace around this track. We're going to have to watch out for the battle as well, remember. Lakitu and Larkin, they've got a battle for the championship as well. There's only 1 point between them. Larkin's only just ahead of Lakitu. So Lakitu's still in a good place to try and take second, which is, of course, his initial objective. And remember, Short's tyres are going to be slightly older. They're going to be slightly more worn. But safety car in this lap. Let's get ready to rumble then. This is it. This is what you came over for. So you think the softs are a second quicker at the initially. I'll have to wait and see though. Heading towards the last couple of turns before we go flat out now, though. You can see Short really getting some heat into those tyres before we go green again. Backing up the drivers. He's got to go flat out soon. Yes, he does. He's all the way up into gear 4. Gear 5, it's going to be a green flag. There's a severe collision. Simply Superman has had one with, I think, Heis Weichel. He's got a 5-second time penalty. So does Weichel. They all have. As in the background, we've got Dropier on the Lakitu. Dropier down the inside. He's got the position off of the Alfa Romeo. Can he hold on to it? Back down the inside goes Larkin. The battle for second in the championship happening on track right now. It looks like Short's been safe initially. Can he hold on to that position though? We'll have to wait and see. Niels Barca on Justice's. Justice really close to the barrier. This is extraordinarily close racing on the safety car restart. Larkin pulling away from Justice though. We might have to hop up to the top here because look at this. Sem is quite close behind Short. Niels Barca passing the Superman in the background there though. This is interesting. This could be Short's first win of the championship. Alfa Romeo, maybe not the drive they were initially thinking would get the win. Could still do it. They could still go home with that trophy from the top step. But only if Short can hold on as he nearly goes into the barrier there. That will have been scary. Sem is closing up as we head towards turn 13 now. And along to turn 14 of Connaught. Let's see what Sem can do. Let's ride on board with him. Short is pulling away on the straight. He's clearly had a better exit. Maybe less 30 here to contend with, helping him get the power down quicker. Short a little bit over the track limits there. He doesn't have a time penalty, remember. Nor does Sem. This is pure racing. I don't think Short does anyway. But yeah, this is pure racing. And now Spag has found himself in a McLaren sandwich just behind these two drivers. Lakitu not having the greatest restart. He's in 6th, but he's ahead of Larkin. And that's the main focus for him at this point in time. Short is still defending that first position. Sem though with the faster snap replaced by Dropier there. Spag does have a look down the inside of Kvyat Campbell. Dropier doing the same to Spag. Not close enough to make a move. Was that a contact there? It looked like an unnatural movement from the Renault. We're going to ride on board with Sem as Short has him close up very close behind him as there's oversteer for the Williams. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Kvyat Campbell, he's nowhere near. But that could have just done it for Short. That has cost a few tenths of a second as down the inside goes spaghetti chips on Kvyat Campbell. The two McLarens nearly colliding along the straight there. That could have been bad. DRS will be activated after this lap, I believe. At the start of next lap, Larkin, though, goes behind Dropier as we head through the next couple of turns. Those two McLarens could be in for a real battle. Spaghetti chips up into 3rd. He might try and get that podium for the end of the race. We'll have to see how that... But yeah, that was a lot of oversteer for the Williams. Sem is closing up once again though as we head through turn 13 towards turn 14. Can he still get that first position? It looks like he's had a pretty decent exit. The run to turn 14 is going to be very important. Will he make a move? Spag could get a podium. Yeah, he's on course for it now. Dropier overtaking his teammate Kvyat Campbell. Those two drivers are really having a battle. We've got Lakitu and Larkin with Campbell as well thrown in for good measure. Sem really putting it up close behind Short. We will only have 4 laps to go at the end of this. So not long anyway. Let's see whether these tyres overheat before we get to that checkered flag. Or they will drop off as race control DRS enabled. Let's ride on board with Sem because this could be what he needs to try and take that position. Short hasn't been able to build up that gap. They're both on ERS mode 0. They're both going to be going up to ERS mode 5. As we head along the straight in just a moment's time through the right hander now. It's all about the exit. Short going for a slightly later apex. Has he got the exit? I don't know. He's got to defend from Sem with the ERS and slipstream heading into the next turn. Sem is going to have a look down the inside. No, he's not. He just didn't close up quite quickly enough though. Yes, Spag does have a 3-second time penalty, but Sem is so close. The key to pass, Kvyat Campbell, Justices and Niels Varsa. Niels Varsa back down the inside of the Haas. Yes, he has got that position back. Lakitu, though, up into 5th place. He's passed one McLaren. He needs to get past the other. That's a 2-second gap, though. Sem is so close behind Short. This is the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. Sem is about to win as well. He's about to win the championship. All he needs to do is take it to the line and make sure Larkin doesn't win, which looks to be quite safe. And also, Larkin would have needed the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as we head along the straight now towards turn 14. That right-hander, Short, is hanging on for dear life at the front. Can he get that win? It would be absolutely sensational. C3 have their results. We haven't even reached the checkered flag yet. We've still got 3 laps to go. Just over that, Niels Varsa with a time penalty, but look how close drop there is following Spag through turns 18 and 19 towards 20 and 21 and then 22 and 23 onto that main straight. You can see the gap evolving between some of the drivers. In fact, it's not even that big. It looks a lot bigger on the telemetry, but look at this into turn 1. Sem's going to have to back off once again. It's going to be all about that DRS straight. Can he get the position? We've got 3 laps to go before the end of the race. Kvyat Campbell with a 3-second time penalty. That is not good news. Lakitu needs to close up a lot before the end of the race. It looks like he might struggle to do so. That's 2 seconds. Sem is in a really good position to make a move, though. He's going to have a look down the inside. They're side by side into turn 6. Can he get the position? Back round the outside goes Short, holding on for now. Can he get that position still? Sem just not able to pry it from the leading car. But look at this. Spag is not far behind either. He's really close. Right, Michael with the fastest lap. He needs to be in the top 10 though to really get the points, unfortunately, and he's 36 seconds off the man in front, so he won't be getting the fastest lap point, I don't think. But this battle means that Sem and Short probably won't either. As we head onto the straight now, bit of oversteer there for Sem. He's really pushing ERS all the way up to 4, then 0 once he realises he's not going to be able to get that position into turn 14. Only 2.5 laps left for Short to defend the lead of the race. Can he pull it off? Let's see. Well, look at that drop. Yeah, really posing a threat. Spag hasn't got that podium secured just yet, Goldie, so don't celebrate too early. Same for that as well, Ed. But look how close these guys are. Sem looks to be dropping back though. Maybe those softs are overheating. Maybe they're wearing a bit faster than Shorts. Oh, they probably are. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. That DRS though is helping him close up along the pit straight as we have a fantastic angle. He's run slightly wide, but look how close he is as we head towards the next straight. This is going to be the penultimate opportunity for Sem to get that position. We're on the second last lap of the Grand Prix with the DRS, ERS and Slipstream. In fact, they've both got ERS, but there's a lot more for Sem than there is for Short. Down the inside goes the Williams on Short. They're side by side on the exit. Short's run slightly wide. They're still side by side. It's going to be the inside line for the Alfa Romeo. Can Sem get the switchback? No, he can't. Fantastic racing from the top 2. Sem reclaims the lead of the Grand Prix. No, sorry, Short does even. Sem not able to take that first position. He's running out of opportunities though. We are only on the second last lap of the race. He's only going to be on that straight one more time before he can get that position as we head out of turn 13 now. Short just does a fantastic exit. I don't quite know what he's pulling off there, but the ERS just, he's bumped it up a bit there for Sem, but he's not going to be able to keep it there. He might wang it up for the final lap though. He might go hell for leather. I'm sure Short will as well, but Sem has got more ERS stored up. Look at that, it's 90% versus 65%. So this is really interesting. Dropye having a look down the inside of Spag just behind us as well. So that battle has not been resolved either. And it won't be until we hit that checkered flag. Spag does have that 3-second time penalty, remember. I'm not sure whether Short does or doesn't. He wasn't in the top 5 we checked when that safety car was brought out. Sem does run wide though. Will that be a warning? I'm not quite sure as we head into the next turn now. Short is defending. This could be his final opportunity to hold on to that lead. Can Sem get this position as we head on to the DRS straight for the final time? They take very similar lines. Short with a fantastic exit. He's pulled away from Sem and Miles, and you can see Sem there with a wiggle. I think he's accepted that. He's not getting that position. He's gone down to ERS mode 0. And I don't think Sem's going to be able to get that, as down the inside goes Spag on Dropier. They're still side by side. In fact, Dropier has taken 3rd place. So while we were distracted with one battle, another was sorted out. Well, I say sorted out. I don't think that's over yet. Sem is still close behind Short. He's really pushing. Sem has got a lot of ERS stored up, as does Short. They are really running out of opportunities to get that position, though. As we head into the final sector for the final time of this evening. Can Short take his maiden win in this championship on the penultimate round of the Asia Cup? Let's see what this Alfa Romeo can do. As they head through the final turn now, Marcus Short of the final sector. 18 and 19 under the grandstand for the final time. Heading towards the line. I think Sem's accepted that he's not going to get that lead. He's in the RS mode 0. In fact, they both are heading towards the line now. Through the final turn for the final time. Short comes home to take the win here at Singapore. Dropier 3rd, Spaghetti Chips 4th. Lakitu overtaking him just in 4th place. Kvyat Campbell and Larkin finishing behind him just as then Simply Superman with Heisvakel and Niels Barser rounding off the grid. What an intense race to the line there. Unfortunate for Lakitu, but Alfa Romeo still did win with the other driver. Short, he just minced the strategy. Oh, my earphones have fallen off my head. But he was just a genius this race. He pitted perfectly. That got him up into 2nd. Then he decided not to pit again onto the softs, and he held off Sem, and that's going to mean he finishes on the top step. Sem's already inquiring as to what happened to Lakitu. But yeah, Marcus, fantastic there. His first top step so far this championship. Will he get one again next week? We'll have to wait and see. Don't forget to leave your comments, your questions to the top 3 in the comments down below. But look how ecstatic he is. Probably feeling the similar way behind his rig at home. The finishing order, as it rains once again, is going to be Marcus Short winning the race as we hit 100 comments. Sem 12 2004 with Dropier, the other driver, on the podium. Only 3 drivers keeping it clean this evening. Lakitu, the other one. Well, Lakitu had those 10-second time penalties, but Spaghetti Chips, Larkin, Kvyat Campbell, Justice, Simply Superman 69, Niels Barser, and Heisvakel. The DNFs were LR Bjorn, LR Patrick, and Eloise Maurice. But what a race. That was phenomenal. I'll get to your comments in just a second, but if you do have any questions, do let me know. But one thing to mention as well, Sem has won the championship. He is going to be the RLH F1 Asia Cup Category 1 championship this year. So you got to give him that. He's just been ridiculously fast throughout this whole season. Two beautiful strategy race calls from the shorts. Can't disagree with you there. Can't disagree with you, Morgan. Amazing. I have to admit, that perfectly timed pit stop compiled with the... Oh, Sam's already hopped onto Minecraft, so hopefully we can interview him. I also need to invite Dropier as well. I don't know if he's on my friends list. Yes, he is. But yeah, the world champion already on Minecraft, having won the championship. But here is the race winner. Marcus, how do you feel about that race then?
Well, I'm very happy, obviously, but I was not expecting to be anywhere up the top today. But you know, in qualifying, I didn't really get a proper lap in. I messed up one of my laps. I just had one lap to go for it, so I was just trying not to invalidate. And in the rain, I seem to have quite good pace, but I just couldn't get past the train like always, and so I was just stuck in that train. And then I knew it wasn't, when everyone else pitted, it wasn't quite dry enough, but they did probably pit because like my tyres were on like 80%, so everyone was probably scared of a puncture. But luckily I got the perfect lap to pit in just as it went to dries, and I didn't think anyone else would pit for softs because I thought track position would be more important, as it proved to be, because I had to defend for my life from Sem the whole time, and then somehow actually got the win.
Yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. Those last few laps were insane. There was really good defence and 2 really good strategy calls.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's going to be my first C1 win, so I was just trying to do everything to defend from Sem, and yeah, it worked out.
Definitely. But congratulations, and we'll move on to you, Drop. Yeah, how do you feel about that race?
Well, I'm actually quite happy I actually raced, because I didn't even have my pedals working during qualifying. I literally had to unscrew the entire set to get them working. Yeah, so I didn't expect a podium at all.
A bit of a last minute job, so congratulations as well.
Yeah, well done, Short, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think, unfortunately, our new champion isn't able to join us for some reason or another. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Not me.
I'm good.
Alright then, I think we'll end it there. Congratulations, Short. Congratulations, Sam. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that race. I certainly did. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.